Hello everyone and welcome to the Mortuary. I am the Mortician, and today I have a recent album to pick up because I really want an excuse to use this new setup I got going on here. Tell me how you like it. The first album we got here is Sleep's Holy Mountain. Yeah, I just recently picked this up. The reason I haven't had this album sooner is because for whatever reason I just wasn't super into stoner metal. I mean, that's not to say I didn't like it. It's just that I just didn't go out of my way to buy it for whatever reason. But this album, hearing Dragonaut off this album, really changed my mind, and I started buying a lot more stoner metal. Yeah, and it's really, really awesome shit. Think Black Sabbath. This is kind of like very Black Sabbath-y in the riffs and whatnot, and even in the vocals, it's very Black Sabbath, and I really, really enjoy it. The song I would have to recommend off this one is Dragonaut. It was the first song I ever heard. Next, we got Mystifier's Gosha. Yeah, this is a black metal outfit from Brazil. These guys are actually pretty kick-ass. It's not like super typical black metal from this album, at least. I can't speak for their other albums, but for this album, seems like there's a lot slower tempos, a lot more slower tempos on this than something like Dark Funeral, A Terra Totus Sanctus, or any number of things like that. This album is like way more chilled out, and I really enjoy it for that because as someone who does listen to a lot of black metal, that's primarily what I listen to. Just having something that just kind of takes it slow for a couple moments is really awesome. The cool thing about this specific digipack, it actually comes with a second CD and has a bunch of live stuff. So you got 10 songs off Gosha, and then there's 10 live tracks from 3 different shows, which is really awesome. So yeah, what would I recommend off this? I would recommend the second track, which is an Anelizabethan Devil Worshipper's Prayer Book. Isn't that a fucking mouthful? I believe that was actually the first song I ever heard off this as well. Next we got Entombed's The Left Hand Path. Yes, I'm a metalhead, and I literally just picked this up. The problem I originally had, and the reason I hadn't picked this up sooner, is because it seemed like whenever there was a death metal discussion, this album would get its cock sucked thoroughly. They would just blow it so hard. So it just put me off. So, I just held off, and when I felt like I was ready to buy it, I did. And yeah, I'm really in love with this album. Entombed is a Swedish death metal band that was formed in 1989. And this is pretty much like a staple of a death metal collection. This is pretty much I would say this is kind of like the Slayer of death metal almost. If you don't have at least this album by these guys, I'd question you as a death metal guy, I guess. The song I would recommend off this is Supposed to Rot. I really like the instrumentals and the lyrics on that, and I really enjoy the vocals. Man, why the fuck is my eye so itchy all of a sudden? Ooh. Next, we got Benediction. Transcend the Rubicon and the Dreams You Dread. I bought this only for Transcend the Rubicon. And I bought this specifically because it was cheaper to buy this with the Dreams You Dread than it was to buy... got a piece of hair. There we go. Then it was specifically to just buy the Transcend the Rubicon album. Transcend the Rubicon is really awesome. The Benediction is actually Frank Healy's band from Napalm Death. If you don't know who Napalm Death is, just a brief history. They're a grindcore band. I think they were one of the first, if not the first, grindcore band. Typically not my kind of music. I'm not really heavy into grindcore. I think the only grindcore band I really enjoy is Anal Cunt. But yeah, this album is pretty fucking dope. The instrumentals are it's actually really well mixed and well produced. Transcend the Rubicon. It's just, I think it's really well done. As for the Dreams You Dread, My problem with the Dreams You Dread is with the mixing. They took the vocals and they just made them too upfront, so they sound really weak, and it sucks not only because they are pretty weak, but they mixed them to make them sound weaker, which is really weird. I don't know who mixed the Dreams You Dread, but they really did an awful job. I'm not going to recommend a song off the Dreams You Dread because I don't like any of them. But I will recommend 2 songs to make up for that on Transcend the Rubicon, and that will be Nightfear and I Bow to None, which I Bow to None was the first song I ever heard by them. Next, we got Children of Bodom's Hatebreeder. I've never been, like, I shouldn't say I've never been super into Children of Bodom. There was a time when I was in high school, I used to listen to Children of Bodom, like, all the time. Like, I used to take a 45-minute bus ride from my house to my school because I went to a regional, I went to basically a trade school. Basically, you go to that school and you could train in certain jobs. I was in culinary. I was actually in carpentry as well. I was in culinary. I transferred to that. So from here, it was 45 minutes. So I had a lot of time to listen to music. So I'd put on like Hate Crew Death Roll or something and listen to the shit out of that. And somewhere along the line, I just lost interest in them. It's not necessarily because I think they're bad in this era. I think Hate Crew Death Roll is a good album. I think I just kind of listened to them a bit too much, so I just stopped enjoying them. And not to mention, like, everyone in high school that I talked to who liked Children of Bodom just could not stop sucking Alexi Laiho's dick. So, like, it became kind of aggravating to listen to them when you have people who won't shut the fuck up about them. But even still, I've never really been a fan of their newer stuff, and this is really what I needed, like, now. This album really reminded me how fucking great Children of Bodom used to be. Just listening to Silent Night, Deadly Night really brings me back to, when they were pretty much at the height of their musical talent. Really expert, like, really well done. Like, the keyboards are, like, amazing in this. There's some really, really great guitar work on here. Very, very good album. The 2 songs I'd have to recommend I'll just recommend 2 is Children of Bodom and Silent Night, Bodom Night. Those are probably my favorite, which is probably the more popular songs of them. This is a free thing. This is a Deep Sense 2014 sampler. I got this for free at Armageddon. They just had them out on the counter, so I picked one up. Funny story, though. I didn't find this till like yesterday. Well, not yesterday when this uploads, but yesterday when I record this. The day before I went out and picked some of these albums up. My friend pulled it out of my backpack and it was like, "Oh, you still have this in here?" I was like, "Holy shit, I completely forgot about it." I haven't listened to it yet because I forgot it was even in here. But I'll give a shout out to some of these bands. Listen to at your own risk. Emblazoned, Malefic Congregation, Corpus Mortal, Feasting Upon Souls, Synapses. Fuck, it's Synapsis. Why the fuck did I do that? Synapsis, A Place Will Be Forgotten, Death Comes Pale from the Lips of the Dead, and what's one more that seems cool? Humiliation, Sea of Denial. Sounds cool, but once again, listen to those at your own risk. I'm not going to put those in the description because I just can't be fucking bothered. Next, we got Nachtmystium, Demise. Kind of funny story about this one, too. I was literally listening to this band the day before I went to pick it up, and I saw the album for $3, and I was like, oh, fuck, I gotta buy it. This is really traditional black metal. Like, this is super traditional for black metal, and I really enjoy it. Not necessarily because I can't have anything different with my black metal, but it just seems like I miss a lot of like the older style, like Burzum, Philosophum, or stuff like that. I just miss that kind of style. Not to say that there aren't people who do this, it's just there aren't too many people who do it too well, and I think that this is pretty nice. The song I would recommend is probably Solitary Voyage. That's probably the first song I heard. Next, we got Godless Rising. Rising Hatred. I believe this is an EP. I'm not actually 100% sure, but I think this is actually an EP. And it's a really, really nice EP. I've talked about Godless Rising, or I think I've talked about Godless Rising once before. They're basically like a death metal... Someone fucking shitting lava into a dumpster over there? What was I saying? Oh, they're basically a death metal band, but they have some really cool black metal influences. And this, from the song I've listened to, like I haven't listened to this one fully yet. It's pretty crushing death metal, and that seems to be it, which is okay. It's actually really, really nice from what I've heard. So yeah, awesome. The song I'd have to recommend is the first one, Sacrificed, because that's the only one I've listened to. Now we've got Emperor's Prometheus, the Discipline of Fire and Demise. I had to pick this up because it was only like $6. No, it was pretty much exactly $6. So I was like, how can I possibly resist? And yeah, listening to the first song, the Eruption, it really like took me back, because like when I have 2 Emperor albums. Well, technically one's an EP slash EP, which is Wrath of the Tyrant and In the Nightside Eclipse. Those do not feature any singing whatsoever. Those are straight up balls to the fucking wall black metal. There is no clean singing at all. But in the first track, The Eruption, there are some clean vocals in it. And at first I was like, what the fuck is this? But really, as I listened to it more, it grew on me, and I actually learned to enjoy it. Think about like vocal style somewhat similar to Winter Sun off Time 1. When Yari sings, it's something kind of like that. So in my opinion, it blends really well with Emperor. Like I said, it just took me by surprise, although I do enjoy it. The song I would have to recommend is The Eruption. Come here. Next, we've got Children of Bodom's Follow the Reaper. Pick this up for $4. This is another album, you know, I don't really have to explain this one, because everything I said about Children of Bodom, Hatebreeder, can pretty much be said about this. This is in their era where I would consider them at their best. So pretty much you can't go wrong with this for pretty much any price. The song I would have to recommend is definitely Children of Decadence. I love that fucking chorus, and I love the opening and the riff. And the last band or album we have here is Inquisition's Magnificent Glorification of Lucifer, which I actually surprisingly picked up for $6, because I don't know, for whatever reason, every time I look at Inquisition's albums, be they CDs, be they vinyls, they're always more expensive than other bands for whatever reason. So picking this up for this price is really awesome. Inquisition, they're a Colombian black metal outfit, and their style is pretty fucking dope. They have some, on this specific album, they have some pretty hypnotic fucking riffs that are repeated throughout the song. And you have this low, almost Attila of Mayhem style of vocals, but it's like, hard to explain. It's like he almost talks in that way. He doesn't scream, he doesn't sing it, he just kind of talks it. And it's really, I would say it's kind of unsettling. At first, I wasn't a huge fan of the vocal style, but eventually it just kind of grew on me, and I learned to appreciate it. Like I said, there's some fantastic riff work on this album. I would definitely recommend you check it out. The song I would have to recommend is Crush the Jewish Prophet. And I think I'm gonna go into a little rant here. If you're not super keen on like political stuff, you might not want to talk about. Might not want to talk about or listen to this. But basically, I picked this one for last for a reason. I really wanted to talk about something particular. I'm not going to go too into detail, but basically Inquisition was set up to play near me in Providence, actually a couple days before or after my birthday. I can't exactly remember. They were going to this place called Dusk. And when I heard about it, when I got the chance to hear about it, I heard that it was absolutely canceled. A bunch of people complained, got pissy, and said they were Nazis, that Inquisition were Nazis, and that they didn't want them playing at Dusk, and the owner of Dusk fucking caved. He caved, and they're not playing at Dusk anymore. They're going all the way up to New Hampshire to play that show. And I'm just super mega pissed. Largely because, like, as I've gone to a lot, I shouldn't say I've gone to a lot of shows. I've gone to quite a few shows in my adult life, but I haven't been to like a through and through black metal show. Like there's been shows I've gone to that have black metal artists there, but I've never been to like a show that just was black metal. I had the chance a year ago or 2 years ago where I could have gone to see The Shining and Make a Change, Kill Yourself, but I couldn't find anyone to go with, so I decided not to go to this one. But for this, to find out that this band was fucking canceled, and around my birthday, because a bunch of people didn't understand lyrically, and didn't take the time to understand the fucking band, is fucking infuriating. I am so fucking pissed off that they would be labeled as anti-Semites or racist or Nazis or anything. And I could probably already tell they saw Crush the Jewish Prophet and were like, oh my god, he's talking about killing Jews, which it's not. If you actually read the lyrics, it's talking about killing Jesus. But you wouldn't fucking know that because you don't listen to the fucking band and you're too busy being professionally offended like a bunch of fucking faggots. I never thought I'd have to say something like metal, they're coming after metal. But it's all, now that it's like hit me so close to home that this is getting beyond retarded that I can't even go and see a band I would love to have seen on my birthday. I can't fucking do that now because of fucking stupid fucking cunts who aren't part of the scene and who don't listen to the band so they don't understand them lyrically to get them fucking banned from Dusk. Fuck you. So thank you guys for watching. Tell me what you guys are listening to, what new shit you're listening to. I don't care if it's metal, I don't care if it's pop or punk or whatever. Tell me what you guys are listening to in the comments. And feel free to tell me what you think about Inquisition being banned from Dusk. Thank you guys for watching. Mortician, peace out.